Hey YouTube, I'm that dude named Dave, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started here, we gotta do the house cleaning and the price of admission. Click on like, subscribe, and that bell notification below. Help your boy out get that YouTube algorithm. So I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to do that. All right, few seconds, not holding you up here. So today's video, we're coming back to Kevin Samuels, and is it okay to have a 304 face? Now, we know women who always complain that men are out there in these streets and they have the 304 face. So why can't women have this face in their life here? Well, a woman called in to talk to Kevin here, and I thought it was a very good discussion here. So let's get to the video and make it make sense.
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So what do you have for, how old are you, by the way?
I'll be 35 next month.
So, are modern women gambling with their lives?
I think they are, but I do, like, within that, as a bullet point, I feel like I have a disagreement with how they should go about it.
Okay.
But I do think modern women are gambling with their lives because just speaking from my own experience, I had a whole phase like a lot of women tend to have, and like something that especially millennial Gen Z women, that's, you know,
Stopping early here, she's admitting she's had her 304 phase. Now, fellas, see how we could be deceived here? She talks very eloquent, and she is a very attractive, beautiful woman here. You can tell by her hairstyle. Hey, that's my speed. I'm a sucker for this kind of chocolate skin here. But you see how she's talking eloquent? I would not think that she was, before I got to the manosphere, that she was out there like that. But see, she's owning up to it, and we're gonna see that most modern women have the 304 phase. So let's get back to the clip.
it feels like a rite of passage. One thing I can say,
Rite of passage.
you know,
Interesting,
getting
fellas.
to 35 next month is that
Ooh,
my whole
35.
phase definitely lasted way too long. I think
So do you think
Too
most
long?
women have a whole phase?
I don't know if most women have a whole phase. I won't say that, but I know that where I am, like I'm in DC, and
Okay.
a lot of women are very career minded here, career driven.
Okay.
Lots of people are PhDs, MBAs.
I'm a PhD.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
But what's the
becoming a
what's
wife-
the disagreement about though? So we
So
get to
the
that.
disagreement is about how, I guess, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you've mentioned like basically going from the home, like going from your father's home to going to a marriage, basically. And I feel like there should be time to explore. I'll just
You
be
mean
frank,
you'll be
to
a hoe?
explore your, not being a hoe, but
Yes,
to
she's
Stop
talking
right here.
about that.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Before, what do you think the average woman can learn out in the world experiencing other men that can make her? No, I didn't even finish the question. Put yourself in a man's position. What can a woman experience of value with other men that I will find valuable?
That's a good question. I want to pause that here. Fellas, remember that question. Use this question when you're talking to other women here who are justifying the 304 phase. Now, let's see what her answer is, and let's see how Kevin follows up with that. Let's get back to the clip.
I feel like she can gain a sort of what's the word? Like you probably gonna roast me for this, but you gain a certain sexual skill. Like you talk about a woman should be able to, you know, keep a man fed and then drain his balls, but
that's
you
true.
do pick up certain skills when you're out there. I'm not saying being a hoe, but just having a few.
So you can't do that with you. So you think a man would find it preferable that you would do that prior to him?
Hold on to that thought here. So when women say, I'm out here, I'm experiencing life, I'm making myself so that I am not this awkward virgin. Now, I did a video about, a virgin's awkward. Kevin Samuels broke that down about being socially not inept and things of that nature when you've abstained from this activity throughout your entire life here. But did you see what she said here? Hold that here, and let's continue here. Let's get back to the clip.
I don't know, honestly. I don't know, because
The answer is no.
Yeah, but a lot of
Hold
the
on.
Yeah, but-
hold on.
I'm stopping a lot this video. I apologize. But I wanted to point that out. Yeah, but you see how he gave her answer and she immediately rejected it. It wasn't marinated in. She didn't let it sink in, think about it, and then try to respond. It was automatically response. She did not want to hear it right away. It was automatically dismissal. That's why I'm pausing here to show the immediate reactions that women are doing to us when we actually give them facts and information. So let's get back to the clip here.
See, many of you women believe this, that it will be preferable. So what you're basically saying is men who are territorial by nature and want women to be as close to virgin as possible. You know that, right? You know men don't want women with high body counts. You know that, right?
I know that, yes.
Right. So what you're actually trying to sell is that there's a value in a woman getting out here and riding the cock carousel for a couple, 3, 4 years.
Hear that,
That's
fellas?
actually going to be valuable to him as an asset. It's going to be an asset for me to go to the country club with you and Daryl saying, man, she's a great fuck. You mean to tell
Let me stop that there. I know I'm pausing a lot, but fellas, we're not trying to brag we're not going to brag on our significant other's sex game. Now, ladies, I'm going to let you know this right now. If it's a woman that we don't care about, we're going to brag to our boys about, yeah, she put it down. She can do this and that. Ooh, I never knew. But if it's your lady, if it's his number one, he ain't trying to brag about that in the bedroom there. He's keeping that close to the vest here because, like Kevin said, men are territorial. We don't want our women out there, and we don't want other men to know our women out there. That's embarrassing. Keep that in mind here. Let's get back to the video.
me it's going to be valuable? I take you to the mayor's ball. And he said, yeah, she sucked me off. And no, ma'am, no,
That makes sense.
because men are territorial. We don't. The fear is really, I think, honestly, if we're being honest, I think this is more of a fear from women. I want to get out and get it out of my system because if I don't get the kind of dick I like at home, at least I can remember what it was when I was young.
But is there not any value to getting it out of your system? Because I mean,
You're still not supposed to have it. You're not supposed to be a
Any
hoe.
value.
It's not supposed to be in your system.
well, not a hoe. I don't agree that
You're not
there
supposed
should
to crave. You're not. Okay, ma'am. Let's talk about black folks. Did you watch the show that I talked about sexual professionals? Go back and look on the community tab, or just be honest. How many times you've been around your sisters and they will tell you, black women will tell you, they left the men primarily on sexual grounds.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
know
women
it.
do.
I've talked to hundreds, thousands of black women before I did that show. I interviewed.
That's a fact. I'm pausing here again. Fellas, I want you to think about this. And ladies, I have a lot of women in my Discord. So fellas, that's why I always point to the ladies here because they've been commenting heavy in my comment section here. But have you left the man because the sex was bad? That bad? We are the only ones in our community that justify this here. You know, Kevin's going to break this down further in the video here, but how often, fellas, have you had a situation where that you were embarrassed or some woman didn't treat you right or left you because the sex game wasn't on point here? Only us here. Only in the black community. We have so many issues, and he could be a good man. You're throwing him back out to the wolves. There's ways to work around this here. I'm not saying that, you need to work together as a couple to work out, your issues, but these are things that can be worked on, and women are leaving every day. So let's get back to the video.
Dozens, and each one of them shared story, and this was women from 22 to 70.
Wow.
All sharing the same stories, decade after decade after decade. The only reason women were that way is because of an appetite that they had before the man that was suitable came along.
Right.
So I don't see. So if women find themselves to be wrecking their own homes because they are been imprinted sexually by another man and they continue to keep looking for that same sex, you shouldn't have had it in the first place.
Like
Women
a
are
drug
only
searcher for that
supposed
first
to get out
high.
and have whole phases. Why, do you understand why that is, though?
I do understand why that is. And the whole,
Biochemically, women bond differently.
yes, that's very true. And you pick up more damage along the way.
So I have yet to have a woman truly articulate the value a woman can get from learning from other men through our quote unquote high value guy?
Hmm. Um, the thing that always comes to my mind though is that maybe this is anecdotal, but a lot of the men that I have talked to don't necessarily want virgins. I feel like modern men don't want virgins. There was, I don't know if you
I
have
didn't
heard
say
of the show Married at
virgins.
First.
I said close to.
Mm-hmm.
Close to. We know that no woman's a virgin nowadays, unless you're in a particular church or sect that actually promotes abstinence and to wait before marriage. Very small minority of that in this day of age, but there are some churches like that. So we know that all women are not virgins, but like I said, close to. You're gonna have bodies, but how many bodies are on there? We don't want that imprint where that you are so mentally thinking about another man's sex game or emotional status that we are never gonna be number one. That is the main issue when he talks about biochemically, when we imprint ourselves onto another woman and the woman has that connection and relationship with us here. Let's get back to the clip.
Right. But I mean, do you
Now
do
let's
you
understand
think
something.
that,
Let's understand something.
uh-huh.
Me and you talking about husbands?
Mhm. Yeah.
No. They are husbands. They're married already, or they're seriously
No,
looking to
I
get
got
married
I got you. No, they're not husbands, but they want to be married at some point.
at some point.
Hmm.
Different kind. Okay. If guys out here just trying to get laid, of course he wants to have great sex.
Hmm.
But
Facts.
men were trying to anecdotal, yes. Yes, there are men out there who say, "Yeah, I would want a woman that's experienced such and so forth." I know guys like that.
True
But
that.
they are in the minority.
Hmm.
Most men accept the fact they would rather a woman with low miles and would have to teach her.
Yes.
Versus, damn, how'd she learn how to do that? Because he's gonna ask the question whether he asks it or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
I gotta be honest here, fellas. Before and ladies too. I'm bringing this to the whole Discord here. There was a woman who I was seriously involved in. And you may think I'm shallow. There was a lot of issues that we do these videos here that showcase she's a modern woman, but that sex game, woo wee, man, he put your boy on his back. But you know what I said when I was done? Where she learned that, because you don't learn that on one or two tries. You out here getting it. Now, of course, I was cool in the moment. I ain't gonna front. I ain't turned nothing down but my collar. But as the situation went on, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't look at her as a suitable marriage situation here. I looked at her as the jump off, to get down, have some fun with. There's other factors that led on to it, but the sex game actually was part of that too, part of certain conversations. So I want you guys to understand that, yes, men want sex. Men want experienced women if they're jump offs. Our wives or our significant other that we're gonna, fiance and move to a wife status, we'll work with you. We'll train you. We'll show you what we want. Okay? We can kind of go from there. Back to the clip.
So then do you think, go ahead.
Wait.
Do you think that, so if a woman, goes to college and I don't know, she's 22 or whatever, do you think that she should, or I guess how many experiences do you think are enough, basically? How
That's
much
not
is too much?
I get the
She
question.
goes
That's not
out
a
and
good
sleeps
question.
with 3 men before she gets married. Is that too many?
Well, no, but I think we got to understand what women are doing today.
Mm.
Young women are having more sex than young men. I watched a show here recently where a woman, she's had 100 sexual partners in a summer.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I talked to women.
A summer? Wow.
A question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to, if you knew you had found the person you're supposed to be going to be with until the end of time, and you knew you guys were going to be together till the end of time, you'd want to delay getting together, or would you want to get started as soon as possible?
Good question. I'm pausing again. Remember that question, fellas. There's a couple of questions Kevin asking to this woman here. And if you ever come in a situation like this and these kind of dialogues here, ask this question. That's a good marker to see where her head is at. Back to the clip.
Yeah, I would definitely want to get started as soon as possible.
And that's the whole point. The problem is with so many women, they're looking at fear and scarcity. But the problem is not, the problem in leaving relationships today is modern women.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one leaving. 80% of the time, women leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really think many women really know how to be involved. And I find it hard to think that a woman who has had multiple sexual partners, and I'm making no judgment, understand something. But it makes it harder for you to bond. You know that. And if it's harder for you to bond, that's one more obstacle. Now, not all men are as, open, as reasonable as I am. Some guys will hold it against you, but the net of it is that I don't really see any value to a woman, to a man, for getting out here and having a whole phase, or getting out here and getting it out of her system. That's supposed to be a man thing.
Mm-hmm.
So your oats, women are the oats. But when this world where we try to make men and women equal, and if he can do it, she can do it. But here's the thing. Men, it's a double standard, and women pay a different sexual penalty from promiscuity.
That's true. I can't argue with that.
Even biochemically. So, all right. Anything else?
I'm going to stop the video here. This was a pretty lengthy interview he had with her, and she had more questions outside of this here. And I will have the description in the link so you can check out the full video, as well as this particular interview and sections here if you want to see it uninterrupted by my commentary here. But fellas and ladies, I want to put this to the Discord, to the comment section. Y'all go hard. I love y'all opinions. It's good and bad and ugly sometimes, but we need these conversations here. 304 phase. Did anything that Kevin Samuels said make sense, or he was off base? Because we can take this a little bit deeper when we talk about the biochemical aspect of women going through this phase compared to men having this phase. Now, we're not trying to say that men should be out there having 2,000, 3,000 women. We understand that, but men are created differently, and chemically our balance is different when it comes to sex compared to women, and the standards and requirements that we are looking for in a wife. Now, we're not saying that you cannot do that, ladies. If you want to go ahead and ride the carousel, you want to be free and have the freedom, we're telling you can go ahead and do that. All we're explaining as men is that it has consequences, and those are things that we do not want. So if we look the other way, then you can't get mad at us. In this particular situation here, she is 34 years old. She just said she's going to be 35. She's admitted that she held on to her 304 phase too long. So here's the thing here. She's already way past the danger zone. 35 becomes high-risk pregnancy, geriatric pregnancy, and she's still single. Now, she come on a show like this with all this here, who is really going to take her seriously? Now that she's done playing, she wants a guy to say, hey, take me as I am. I have my fun. Let's get it on. Doesn't work that way, ladies. Doesn't work that way. We don't operate like that. We don't think like that. So like, comment, subscribe, click on that bell notification below, share. I want to hear what you guys think. Am I off base? Is Kevin off base here? So until next time, I'm that dude named Dave, and I'll be back.